A gruesome discovery, Los Angeles, 1947. The city, known for its glitz and glamour, was about to be shaken to its core by a discovery so horrifying that it would leave an indelible mark on its history. January 15, 1947. Los Angeles, California. The city was bustling with post-war optimism, its streets filled with the hum of daily life, unaware of the dark turn the day would soon take. The dawn broke cold and clear over Los Angeles, casting long shadows across the vacant lot on Norton Avenue. The air was crisp, and the city was slowly waking up to what seemed like an ordinary day. A young mother, Betty Bersinger, strolled with her 3-year-old daughter, their path taking them along the edge of the overgrown field. It was a routine walk, one she had taken many times before, but today would be different. A flash of white caught Bersinger's eye, a stark contrast against the winter-browned grass. She squinted, trying to make sense of the object that disrupted the otherwise mundane landscape. As she drew closer, a chill snaked down her spine. The object was not what she had initially thought. It was not a discarded mannequin or a piece of trash. It wasn't trash as she'd initially thought. It was a body. The realization hit her like a freight train, her mind struggling to process the gruesome sight before her. A woman's body, severed at the waist, its paleness amplified by the sunlight. The scene was both surreal and horrifying, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. Bersinger's scream tore through the morning quiet. It was a primal sound, one that echoed the sheer terror and disbelief she felt in that moment. Clutching her daughter, she ran towards a nearby house, desperate to summon help. Her heart pounded in her chest as she banged on the door, her mind racing with thoughts of the horror she had just witnessed. The police arrived to a scene that would forever etch itself into the annals of Los Angeles crime. The officers, seasoned and unseasoned alike, were unprepared for the sight that awaited them. The victim lay carefully posed, her body drained of blood and meticulously cleaned. It was a display of both cruelty and precision, a macabre tableau that spoke volumes about the killer's mindset. Her face was frozen in a grotesque Glasgow smile carved from ear to ear. The mutilation was both shocking and deliberate, a signature of the killer's twisted sense of artistry. The press, hungry for a story, would soon dub her the Black Dahlia, a moniker as dark and captivating as the mystery that unfolded. The name would become synonymous with one of the most infamous unsolved murders in American history. The discovery sent shockwaves through the city. People were gripped by a mix of fear and morbid curiosity, their imaginations running wild with speculation and dread. This was not just another murder, it was a spectacle, a macabre performance that spoke of a killer who was both meticulous and depraved. The positioning of the body, the careful cleaning, all pointed to a mind that took pleasure in the act. The case quickly became an obsession for the LAPD, its gruesome details splashed across newspapers nationwide. Detectives worked around the clock, driven by a need to bring the perpetrator to justice and restore a sense of safety to the city. Who was this woman, and who could have committed such a horrific act? The questions loomed large, casting a shadow over the investigation and the city itself. The questions hung heavy in the air, a chilling prelude to a mystery that would endure for decades. The Black Dahlia case remains one of the most haunting and perplexing unsolved murders, a dark chapter in the history of Los Angeles that continues to captivate and horrify to this day. As the investigation unfolded, the police sifted through countless leads and suspects, each one bringing them no closer to the truth. The case became a labyrinth of dead ends and false hopes. Press conferences were held, and the public was kept on edge with every new development. The media frenzy only added to the pressure on the LAPD, who were desperate for a breakthrough. Detectives mapped out the crime scene, piecing together the victim's last known movements. They interviewed friends, family, and acquaintances, hoping to find a clue that would lead them to the killer. The victim's belongings were scrutinized, each item a potential key to unlocking the mystery. But despite their efforts, the case remained stubbornly unsolved. Frustration grew within the ranks of the LAPD. The lack of progress was a bitter pill to swallow, and the pressure from the public and the media was relentless. The city of Los Angeles, with its bright lights and dreams, now had a dark cloud hanging over it. The Black Dahlia case was a stark reminder that beneath the surface of glamour and success, there could lurk unimaginable horrors. In the years that followed, the memory of the Black Dahlia would be kept alive through books, movies, and endless speculation. The victim, once a nameless figure, became an enduring symbol of mystery and tragedy. The case files, now yellowed with age, still sit in the archives of the LAPD, a testament to a mystery that has never been solved. The Black Dahlia remains an enigma, a haunting reminder of a crime that shocked a city and captivated a nation. As the sun sets over Los Angeles, the story of the Black Dahlia lingers in the shadows, a dark tale that continues to intrigue and terrify. The city, forever changed by that fateful day in January 1947, carries the weight of a mystery that may never be fully understood. And so, the legend of the Black Dahlia endures, a chilling chapter in the annals of crime that serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lie just beneath the surface of even the brightest places. As the investigation began, the LAPD faced a daunting task: to give a name to the woman whose life had been so brutally stolen. The scene was grim, and the detectives knew that identifying the victim was the first crucial step in unraveling the mystery that lay before them. Fingerprints revealed her to be Elizabeth Short, an aspiring actress who had come to Hollywood seeking fame and fortune. She was just one of many young hopefuls who flocked to the city, drawn by the allure of the silver screen and the promise of stardom. But the bright lights and promise of the silver screen had proven elusive for the 22-year-old, leaving her adrift in a city that could be as unforgiving as it was alluring. Hollywood, with its glitz and glamour, often masked a darker reality for those who failed to make it big. Interviews with those who knew Elizabeth painted a picture of a complex young woman. Friends and acquaintances described her as someone who was always on the move, constantly searching for something just out of reach. She was described as beautiful and charming, with a captivating smile that belied a vulnerability that drew people to her. Her beauty was undeniable, but it was her enigmatic personality that left a lasting impression on those she met. She dreamed of becoming a star, her ambition fueled by a hunger for recognition and a desire to escape the shadow of a troubled past. Elizabeth's aspirations were not just about fame, they were about finding a place where she truly belonged. But beneath the surface, there was a darkness, a history of fleeting relationships, and a penchant for living on the edge. She often found herself in precarious situations, navigating a world that was both thrilling and dangerous. Elizabeth's life, like her death, was shrouded in a veil of mystery. She was a woman of many secrets, and those who knew her could only speculate about the true nature of her experiences and the challenges she faced. She had drifted from place to place, leaving behind a trail of whispers and unanswered questions. Her transient lifestyle made it difficult for anyone to truly understand her, and she often seemed like a fleeting presence in the lives of those she encountered. Who was she, beyond the aspiring actress with a haunting gaze? What lay behind those eyes that seemed to hold so many untold stories? Elizabeth was more than just a face in a photograph. She was a person with dreams, fears, and a past that shaped her. What secrets did she carry with her to that lonely field on Norton Avenue? The place where her life came to a tragic end was now a silent witness to the final chapter of her story, a chapter that left more questions than answers. The answers, like pieces of a shattered mirror, offered only fragmented glimpses into a life cut tragically short. Each piece of evidence, each recollection from those who knew her, added to the puzzle but never quite completed the picture. Elizabeth Short's story remains one of Hollywood's most haunting mysteries, a tale of dreams unfulfilled and a life ended too soon. The details revealed by the autopsy sent a collective shudder through Los Angeles. The city, already known for its glitz and glamour, was now forced to confront a grim reality that lay beneath its sparkling surface. The brutality of Elizabeth Short's murder was undeniable. It was a crime that seemed almost too horrific to be real, a nightmare that had somehow crossed over into the waking world. Her body bore the marks of unspeakable torture, inflicted with a precision that spoke of a chilling detachment. The coroner's office, a place usually associated with the cold, clinical examination of death, became a chamber of horrors as the details of her suffering were laid bare. The coroner's report read like a macabre grocery list of horrors, a catalog of pain and suffering that painted a picture of unimaginable cruelty. Ligature marks on her wrists and ankles, evidence of prolonged beating and cutting, and the signature Glasgow smile, a gruesome testament to the killer's sadistic nature. Each detail was a piece of a puzzle that seemed impossible to solve, a mystery that only deepened with every new revelation. The Glasgow smile in particular was a chilling signature. It was a mark that spoke of a deep, twisted pleasure in inflicting pain, a need to leave a lasting impression of terror. Newspapers devoured the details, their headlines screaming of the werewolf murder and the Black Dahlia, a nickname that would forever link Elizabeth Short to the darkness that had consumed her. The media frenzy turned the case into a spectacle, a grim theater that played out on the front pages of every paper. The public, both horrified and captivated, followed every twist and turn of the investigation. Coffee shops, living rooms, and street corners buzzed with speculation and fear as people tried to make sense of the senseless. Theories ran rampant, fueled by speculation and fear. Was the killer a surgeon given the meticulous way Elizabeth's body had been dissected? Or was it the work of a sexual sadist driven by a need to inflict pain and terror? The idea of a surgeon as the killer was particularly chilling. It suggested a level of expertise and control that was terrifying in its implications. The precision of the cuts, the methodical nature of the dissection, all pointed to someone with a deep understanding of the human body. Was it the work of a sexual sadist, driven by a need to inflict pain and terror? This theory too held a dark allure, suggesting a mind twisted by perverse desires and a need to dominate and destroy. The case tapped into a primal fear that lurked beneath the surface of post-war America. The country, still reeling from the horrors of World War II, found itself confronted with a new kind of terror, one that was homegrown and insidious. The world had witnessed unimaginable horrors during the war, but this was different. This was a darkness that had seeped into the heart of their own city, a chilling reminder that evil could lurk in the shadows, waiting to claim its next victim. The Black Dahlia case became a morbid fascination, a shared nightmare that bound the city together in a web of fear and uncertainty. It was a story that seemed to have no end, a mystery that refused to be solved. As the investigation dragged on, the sense of unease only grew. The killer was still out there, somewhere, a phantom that haunted the streets of Los Angeles. The city, once a beacon of hope and opportunity, now seemed shrouded in a pall of fear and suspicion. Detectives worked tirelessly, sifting through mountains of evidence, chasing down leads that often led to dead ends. The pressure to solve the case was immense, but the answers remained elusive. Press conferences became a regular occurrence, with police officials providing updates that offered little comfort. The public's demand for answers was relentless, but the truth seemed always just out of reach. In the midst of the chaos, Elizabeth Short became more than just a victim. She became a symbol of the city's lost innocence, a tragic figure whose story would be told and retold for generations to come. The Black Dahlia case remains one of the most infamous unsolved murders in American history. It is a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the brightest places, a story that continues to captivate and terrify to this day.